Well, I have the pleasure of sharing this time with Trisha Herbst with you, and she's going to share with you guys. I mean, amazing mother, homeschooling genius, busy, busy, busy mom and wife, fruitful, I should say. She's very fruitful in her life. And I'm excited for you today, Trisha, to share with everyone not only just how did you get started with the festivals. I would love to hear like a story, like a funny, if you remember one. That was out of the blue for you, but how you walk through these festivals during the fall, and maybe some tips for some of our newbies.
All right. Well, how did we get started? Oh, years and years ago. It was probably 17 years ago. My daughter was an infant. My son was like 3 years old. And so, of course, it was, intimidating, thinking, like, how am I going to teach these kids and what are we going to do? And so we started really small and really simple. And I found this book called The Family Guide to the Biblical Holidays. And it's excellent. We loved it. And we used it for craft ideas, for recipe ideas, and we just started small doing that kind of stuff. So, um, especially with Sukkot, like my kids loved Sukkot. We live in an area where it's like wintertime, oftentimes during Sukkot, and so we didn't always build a sukkah, but in the winter, when it's cold out, we would build a tent in the basement, and we would have like a camp out in the basement, and that was always super fun. A couple of years when they were little, we built like a what do you call it? A gingerbread house sukkah. So we made sukkahs out of gingerbread houses, or they had like these little people figurines, and we would build popsicle stick sukkahs and then play with them like they're little people in the sukkah that way. So that was really fun. But then as they got older, we were able to do more elaborate things, and as we had more experience and learned what the feasts were about, and we have a community here that we would get together with, and we pretty much made like a huge fall festival out of it. So usually a full week of people going to each other's sukkahs and doing all this fun stuff, potlucks, and then we would always have like a big party where it was like the conglomeration of everything. And so during the party we would do like crafts for the kids, and we would do games for the kids, and just even like bobbing for apples, or we would have like pie eating contests or sundae eating contests. We would just make it a ton of fun. And like cookie decorating, all kinds of just whatever fun crafts that people can think of. Just whatever it is to make it meaningful for the kids and to create a new tradition each year. Um, the hard one was always Yom Kippur, of course, because that's really hard to get little kids into. But we just started small. Like they would fast for Yom Kippur, but they would just fast from snacks. And, we would just keep it totally simple and not make it this terrible, treacherous thing that they had to endure, but really just spend a lot of time focusing on prayer. And we would sit and read stories and, read the Bible together and just keep it really simple. And so I totally recommend that for the newbies. Just don't make it complicated. Make it easy. And as they got older, we graduated into they would fully fast, and we would also do a tashlik service. So if anybody has ever heard of that, tashlik is where you will take breadcrumbs or little rocks and you can go throw those in the water. And that's after you've spent some time in prayer and study, just kind of focusing on different sins that you want to cast off. And so we would do that at Yom Teruah, go do the tashlik. Sometimes we would even immerse at that time of year. So it just depends on how elaborate people want to get. But yeah, so those are just some of our favorite things. We still do tashlik today. And then, of course, on Yom Teruah, we have a shofar. So we always blow the shofar, and we do that together as a family, which is great. And then sometimes we'll get together with a community and have a potluck dinner. And yeah, so that's kind of what we do now.
I think that's really great because, and how many, you have two girls home now, correct?
I have one daughter home still.
One daughter home still.
Uh-huh.
Okay. One daughter home. And sometimes as our house, our nest begins to empty,
Yeah.
we things get us even more simple.
Uh-huh.
But thank you for giving just the hope to those. It's just try it. Just
Yeah.
try some fun things, because often, I don't know if you remember your transition when you maybe were letting go of some of the other holidays that
Mm-hmm.
you celebrated before. this is I didn't take on the fall festivals. I didn't have discipleship or mentoring at the time that was really teaching me how to do that. And I was
Hmm.
so intimidated by it, Trisha, that I just didn't do it because I was intimidated.
Yeah.
And so what happened then is my family didn't have an alternative. They just were like, gosh, we just gave up all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think,
and they're really fun. Like if you just make it about, just try one new thing each year, or in, integrate like one new little tradition each year, and just build on it as time goes on, and they become this big wonderful thing after years of that. So,
that's really fun. I like, yeah, just one new little thing. It could be one simple thing. And we had Mary Catherine in one of the things she was saying is to use toilet paper rolls and just blowing like a shofar to teaching the
oh yeah.
kids and talking to them about why we blow a shofar. Just you can come with fun things. We have the
Uh-huh.
internet now, so it's really great. You can Google
Yeah.
things. And I know that you're in the portion a lot or in that if women
Hmm.
have questions, now you guys know you can type her name in and ask a question,
Yes.
but how she did things. And you guys just knowing they're not alone, right, Trisha? They're not alone.
Right. Oh, and you reminded me the shofar. One year we even made paper mache shofars, and we still have them. So we put them out every year.
Oh,
So
that's
that's a really fun
fun.
one to do.
That's
But
really fun. That's really fun. So, and if you have ideas, please put them in the comments. Please
yeah,
type them up so we can all share with each other because I think that's because we're all separated. I think we miss out on that community of sharing ideas. So, thank you,
definitely.
Trisha. Any last
Yeah.
final words for ladies as they're going into maybe their first few, maybe this is the second or third time they've tried this. Any last words for them?
Just make it about the joy of the season and don't let it, if it feels overwhelming, just take a step back and minimize, do less.
Good. Who gets to tell people to do that? We're always being told do more.
I know,
Sister,
right?
do less.
Yeah,
Just be, right?
exactly.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing
Yes.
with us.
Thank you.